So our if has to parse double, then we compare, right? Now we try to print out and the value was not correct. So we try to revise the code here. So commenting out the first loop out and assume that we want to find min first in one loop. Can we find the min, right, from this list? We said, okay, min, assume that index I equals 0 is the min. So now we said we got loop starting from the next one. We don't need to compare to itself. That's why we said I plus 1 equal to j equals to I plus 1 here. So we start to compare the min. Actually, this has to be min, right? We want to compare min to the next one. Yeah, the other one was not right because I keep changing, right? So we have to compare min to the next one. If it's greater than, we found a new min. Otherwise, it's just going to compare the new min again to the next one, right? So let's see. Now we found the min. So this algorithm is correct to find the min. But it's not changing sorting yet. It's only say if this is min, then we need to move the min to the first index. So it starts to sort, right? But if I can just manually move, I could just say score 0 equals to min, right? Where do I say that? So this is find the min. So once I found, I'm going to say score I, which is 0, right? Scores equals to min. But I need to swap, right? I don't want to replace. Otherwise, 69.4 is gone. Then, before I do that, I need to say string temp, right? I need to put the location of my score 0 because I equal to 0, correct? To that temp because I don't want 69.4 to replace with 0.74. Then I can swap back, which is now we said min is going to go into that location, but I need an index of the min, right? I mean index of the new min, right? I need to know where. Is it location 1, 2, 3, or so on, right? Then I can put temp back, then I can swap. So again, if I do it now, if I print out the list, let's print out the list. So to print out the list, you technically need this, right? But without this, right? Let's just say that 2i here. Let me because it's confusing between this I and that I. So I'm going to say X then. So let's print out the list and you understand what I mean. So since this is a randomly generated new list again, we said min is 8.96. See that? It's replaced 7.28. It's supposed to swap. Right? This one doesn't swap yet. It's just replaced 17.28. We want 17.28 go here. Then we can just do the new list again and find the min. So, but 17.28 is saved in the temp, right? So meaning that I need to say scores, but I need to get that index here, right? Which is, I'm going to call min index, right? Min index equals to that temp then at that point 17.28 should go there because I save it on the temp. But I need to get a min index. So how do I get a min index? J, right? J is the min index. But J is locally right there. If I put a swap inside the loop, it's going to swap every time. I don't want to put in the loop. Right. So I may need to declare int min index to use. Like whenever you found it, then I want to record the index too. Equals to J. Then this should take care, right? So let's try. So new list, we say 0.16. 0.16 now move to the beginning. And 23.85 replace where 0.16 used to be. Make sense? So this is called swap, right? So I first start to sort 1 out of 10, right? Then I need another loop to do the whole thing, right? But before I do that, I'm going to make this as a function or the method, right? Called swap. And what will it do? I'm going to just create a method swap, right? And swap pretty much just do this, right? So the argument has to pass it, otherwise it doesn't know. So what do I want to swap? I need to pass min and array of scores. So string, I have to create the parameters. So I'm going to do scores min. I need to pass scores, which is an array of scores, string scores. An array, so it has to be like that. And int min. So we have min, we have scores. In min index, that's what I mean, right? So min index. Now what else do I need to pass? The I, which is the index, right? The original index of min, right? So I'm going to name it O index, right? O min index, right? And I'm going to just say int O min index equals to I for now, okay? So this is going to be int O min index. Just change the name, then we know what I am referring to. And the min is min. So which is a string. Yeah, we're gonna say string right there at the end. Alright, so I just create a method just to do swap inside this array, right, with a O and min index and min values, right? So this one we do the swap, just shorten the code here. The reason I want to do that because we want to deal with the new loop now. The new loop has to deal with the rest of the list. The rest of the list pretty much, if I said, okay, put this loop back in then. So find min, actually, this one will find min, right? But this one will iterate, right? To sort, right? Do the sort. Which, I'm gonna put this back. That's the This is called nested loop, right? So we want to start from I equal to 0, which is all min index. So that's the reason why I put I, because I know I'm going to use it now. And my min index keeps changing, because the first time we sorted already. The second time I is going to increase to the next one, which this is my new min index, and go to the rest of the list, right, with that loop. Right, so and when you get to the end, eventually you don't need to get to the last one. You can do -1, because that one is the last of the list. You don't have to sort itself. So let's see if it's going to work. Voila, it's sorted. So switch back to the class exercise. You look at 7.1, sort an array of integer. Alright, so you can see the videos I show you how to use nested loop to sort, right? And use a technique called selection sort. So you can write an application, right, to read in an unordered list of 10 numbers from the GUI. Alright, and this application will sort the number and output the sorted list to user GUI. So the logic to sort I show you, you can review from the textbook Chapter 7, page 512 too. Okay, so and the selection sort algorithms, page 528. So requirement, you're going to use a method that takes an array as parameter and return an array back as sorted array. Right, so you need to do up GUI, do up swap method. I shown you that, and use get to submit your work. Alright, so come back here. So this is just showing an algorithms, right? Which this whole thing can turn to be a method, right? Let's say you want to create a method. Right. So I'm going to change it to sort. And you pass an array for me, I'll sort for you. But it said return an array back. So it's going to return a sorted array back. So this is an array of string, right? Return array of string back. String, let's say args, that's fine. Pass in an array of string in. And I need to return, so at the end, just need to return a sorted array, which is the scores, right? Right, so this one I don't need it. This is just for me to display, right? Because I know after this is going to be sorted, I'm going to comment out for now. Right, and I no longer need to initialize my arrays. If I want, I could, right? Because the point of this assignment, you just take input from the user GUI, right? But this one I just randomly generate, right? Which I no longer need this. I could just keep the format, but it seems like I don't need it because I'm commenting this out, right? So this one I don't need it because I have it from here, args, which if you want you can just name scores. It could be any array, correct? So that's how you modify it into array. I mean into a method. So that's pretty much a method to sort, right? So if you want to test, you can pretty much technically create a driver, which I have it in my array. This is an array that has a GUI to take the input of the user, 10 different numbers, and you submit, and then you call the method to sort, right? So this one you can watch from the other videos I show you how to create this array.